We are back with another 50 States of Strange, and we are doing Oregon today. This is what I got going on so far. Looks a little funky. I'm going to start with filling in my little tree I got going on here. And today I kind of combined the paranormal and true crime a little bit with like the last thing I'm going to talk about, because it has a combination of both, and it's a pretty big deal in terms of being like a black mark on Oregon's history. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of combine the true crime and paranormal today. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. And I literally just had this open and it already dried up. Love it. But I got some spooky haunted places that we're going to talk about. And yeah, I'm just going to let some people hop on the live for a second before I start diving too deep into it. And I was playing music, but for some reason the app keeps closing, so I'm not exactly sure what is going on. But hopefully it'll like fix itself in a little bit. We shall see. Okay, might as well start the conversation a little bit. So Oregon is full of all kinds of things, from ghost sightings to some UFO sightings, and even just some pretty terrible things in terms of historically what went on in this city when it was like first happening in Portland. If you don't recognize what's going on here, I'm painting something that I was inspired by looking at pictures of Portland. So Portland is kind of like the main area I'm talking about for today's episode. But I do have some other things in different areas of Oregon I'm going to talk about too. Don't worry. I guess the first one I'll mention is some UFOs. So there have been a pretty decent amount of UFO sightings in Oregon over the years, but the most popular UFO picture ever taken was actually taken in Oregon in the 1950s, and it was in McMinnville. Yeah, McMinnville, and it was taken like in some dude's farm property. But it's a pretty decent photo. I don't have a picture of it on hand right now, but maybe I'll try to add it onto the episode when I post it on YouTube later. It's a pretty decent photo, especially for the 1950s. And yeah, it's never really been proven how authentic it is, like if it's a true UFO or not. It's pretty interesting evidence, though, I should say. And yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about for the alien side of things. We could hop on over to some haunted places that you could visit while you're in Oregon. If you are in La Grande, you could visit the Hot Lake Hotel. By the way, if I'm looking down, it's because I have my notes on the floor, just so I can kind of somewhat keep on track of what I'm supposed to be talking about. But the hotel was originally built in the 1800s, and it did start out as a hotel. But it was eventually turned into a hospital, and then the hospital actually burned down, unfortunately. But it was rebuilt, and then it was used as an insane asylum. And as you can bet, with all the insane asylums that I talk about on here, there was some pretty terrible malpractice, which in turn, I am not. I am Azazel. But with the hotel, it was turned into an insane asylum. Like I said, lots of malpractice, which in turn, later down the road, causes for some paranormal activity to kind of heat up later. And then something just popped up on my screen and then went away. And then eventually it was shut down, and it was shut down for a very long time. And finally they just decided that they were going to renovate it and turn it back into a hotel, and now it is the Hot Lake Hotel. So if you want to go check it out, let me know if it's haunted, because I would love to visit Oregon. I think Oregon's beautiful, but I probably will not be going in that direction anytime soon. So if anybody has any interesting stories from Oregon or that hotel specifically, let me know. I want to know if it's really that haunted. Just like Bob Ross. Oh, thanks. I wish. I'm not that great, but we're working on it. So right now I'm just kind of making my tree here. This is going to kind of help fill in some dead space that I didn't really know what to do with. So I kind of made sure to throw a little park in the background. Okay, so we just talked about the Hot Lake Hotel. Let's talk about, so this isn't a haunted building, but this is a spooky place. If you are in Malheur, there is a butte called Malheur Butte, and it is actually like a dead volcano, I guess. And supposedly, according to the lore, a bunch of witchcraft and stuff went down here. And people have reported sightings of imp-like creatures that like to hang out over there. And a bunch of weird noises, strange sightings, all that jazz. So super spooky. If you want to go check that out, and also let me know how that is, because I won't be going. Hello. And hello everybody who's hopping in and out. If I don't see you hopping in right away, I am sorry. Super focused right now. Next haunted spot. Let's talk about the Lighthouse. Yeah. So there's a lighthouse called Heceta Head Lighthouse. It is supposedly haunted by a woman and her daughter. Here, a lot of people report seeing things moving on their own, seeing apparitions of people, hearing voices. All the pretty normal stuff that comes with hauntings, you know? But again, if you look at the lighthouse, it's gorgeous, and the area that is in is really pretty. I love lighthouses. Lighthouses are so pretty. Okay, I think I might make this tree a little bit thicker. I'm going to put some different colors in the tree too, because you're supposed to add dimension or whatever, you know. So it's probably going to look funky for a second. And I have quite a bit of detail that I'm going to be adding down here. So if I look like I'm just going nuts, it's probably because I am. Because I'm trying not to make this episode too long today. Next haunted location. We are going to hop over to the Oregon State Hospital. Now, this place was also built in the 1800s, just like the hotel we were talking about earlier. But again, lots of weird things went down here, and they actually have tunnels underneath the hospital. And so there was a lot of patients that they would like take down into these tunnels and conduct experiments on. And so, yeah, some crazy things went down there. Lovely painting, painted by a beautiful woman. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciated that. Is that it for my little side hauntings? I think that's it for just the little side places that I was going to talk about. The main topic of today's discussion is pretty intense. I will warn you ahead of time, because I will be talking about things like human trafficking and stuff that is involved in today's episode. So if that is not your cup of tea, I totally understand. And if you want to check out me finishing the painting without hearing about that stuff, you can hop back on here in a little bit or check out this episode when I post it on YouTube later. So, with that being said, love the videos you make. Oh, thank you. Oh, have you watched more than one? That's great. I honestly get so surprised when people are like, oh, I like your stuff. It blows my mind. I always assume that no one's ever actually going to see anything I make, and I'm just mostly doing it for myself. Which is cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. At least this helps me keep my sanity, or what I think is my sanity. Probably not really sanity, we could argue that. Okay, main topic of today. I'm going to be talking about the Shanghai Tunnels, which run underneath Portland, Oregon. Hence why my painting is kind of inspired by Portland. So, the thing with these tunnels is that they are all over the place, and they connected to different bars throughout the city. They also connected to different hotels and stuff like that. And predominantly, they're under Old Town, Chinatown area. And it was really, really, like, common. I guess that's not really the right word, but I'm going to use that word anyway. In the 1850s through, like, the 1940s is when most of the nefarious activity went on down in the tunnels. And what would end up happening is they would drug their victims with opiates, and then they would either, take them out back somewhere out in the streets and then get down into the tunnels that way, or they would actually, like, drop them through the floor through these trap doors called deadfalls, and they were really popular in the saloons. If you are in Portland, or you go visit Portland and you go into that area, there are buildings, if they haven't been, renovated or whatever, that still have some deadfalls in them. And you can actually take a tour of some of the tunnels, I guess, like guided tours. But I'm not really sure, like, to what extent you can go, like, far back. I'm not sure what's open to tours, what's cut off, and what might still be kind of dangerous. I have no idea how far that goes. But moral of the story is if you want to dive down deep under the ground and check out that, you could actually schedule a tour and go look at the tunnels. If I ever visited Portland, I think I would actually want to do that, because I always thought that, like, part of their history was, one, completely terrible, but super interesting. The tunnels would connect to the Willamette River. Did I say that right? Did I say that right? Yeah, it is the Willamette. The Willamette? Yeah. That big old river right there is where all the tunnels would, like, connect. So when they would take their victims down, or, like, drop them through those deadfall trap doors, all those tunnels would connect and then, like, lead out the river, so they could put them on ships and stuff and send them all over the place. Or incoming people, they could, bring them in from other countries, bring them in through the tunnels, and then send them out that way. Unfortunately, that's how it went down, because the original idea for the tunnels was for shipping goods, so that they could actually, like, cut down on traffic and things like that, and bring different things to the hotels and the restaurants and all that through those tunnels, so it wouldn't cause a big deal up above. But, of course, it led the way for all that terrible activity to go down, with trafficking people and all that, and drugs and all kinds of stuff. It just, no bueno. No bueno. Okay, I need to see how light this green is now compared to... Okay, it's not that bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of light green over on this side, because I'm going to add some, like, lamps over here in a little bit, so it'll make some sense. And then I'm also going to add some light spots up here, I think, because I have moonlight And I need to fix my moon. I'm going to put a little bit more white over it and make it a little bit brighter. Kind of got carried away with the details in it, made it a little bit too dark. But yeah, the Shanghai Tunnels is something that I suggest you guys dig a little bit deeper in. There have been some paranormal investigators that have already like gone in there and done some investigating. The Ghost Adventures have gone in there before. But it is, yeah. I won't go into too much detail in terms of like exactly what went on, because it's just kind of inappropriate for like some people. Like I would do that in like a pre-recorded episode probably, because I just don't want to like freak somebody out all of a sudden. Excuse me, sir. Can you stop licking yourself? Thanks. Oh, you can see his head. I couldn't tell if you could see him. Hey. You good? Alright. I'm also going to take that same color, I think. I need to put some bushes. I forgot I was going to put some bushes down here. And I'm going to put some bushes here, because I'm going to have a stairwell in a second. Basically, now I get to just fine detail all the things that I set myself up for in the previous live. So, yeah. That's all I have for you guys on the Shanghai Tunnel portion. And I think in terms of all the main points I wanted to talk about for today's episode, I've kind of already talked about. So if there's anybody watching right now on TikTok, thank you guys for the likes, that lives in Oregon or has been to Oregon and has any paranormal or creepy stories, let me know. I'll talk about it while we're on here. I figured I'm just gonna like make this look like a park. And then I can go in and add shadows and stuff. It's just gonna look a little crazy for a second. Alright, now I'm gonna take one more color and just, oh, well maybe. It kind of dried up. Hold on. Ha! It dried up a little bit. Oh. Man. I did get other paint, so I'm just kind of trying to not waste these. So I'm going to use them anyway. But I do have better paint that I'm excited to start using. Okay, yeah. This is what I wanted to do. So, now oh, yeah. I also, this is probably going to be the last painting that I do where I'm just using acrylic only, because I did end up getting some more watercolor and stuff. And I've been messing around with it a lot, and I forgot how much I enjoy using it. So I'm probably going to be like going back and forth between using watercolor and acrylic. Not quite sure yet. We'll see how it plays out. But I have really enjoyed using the watercolor, so I'm probably going to start using that. And it's a little bit easier, in my opinion. I don't know. But now what I'm going to do is I need my little skinny brush. I'm going to take some black paint, and I'm going to kind of just like map out where I want my stairs to be. And, oh yeah, my exercise ball loves to make noise. And now that I'm done talking about my creepy stuff, I'm going to see if this music will replay. So it's not just awkward silence. Oh, it's playing. I'm just gonna play some relaxing music. Since I'm gonna post this on YouTube later, I don't want to post anything that could like get me copyright trouble. Okay. So I'm just gonna mark out my little stairwell. And I'm also gonna make like a little guardrail and stuff. And then when I throw my creepy aspect of the painting in, it'll really tie into the story of today. But the tunnels are so haunted that's why I just decided to keep it as like a true crime and paranormal mixture, because it's both. Thank you so much. Wow, you guys are killing it with all the hearts. Thank you. The one thing I will say about this brush is it really likes to fray at the end, and I do not like that. Makes me uncomfy. Okay. I just got really quiet. See, when I get really focused, all of a sudden I forget to talk, which is why I was so afraid to do the episodes live to begin with, because I knew I was just gonna... You have the same brushes as me, I think. I got them on Amazon, and most of them I like, but all the ones that I really like to use, I left at my best friend's house. So I've been using like all my backup brushes, and I mean, I make it work, but it's kind of driving me nuts. So I'm excited to use them again. Alright, now let me draw my little rails in. What is really funny too that I noticed is when I paint with acrylic versus watercolor, I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to get the same amount of detail, but I feel like I can get the same, if not more, depending on what I'm doing. But I don't know. If anybody else feels the same way, let me know. Or let me know your favorite medium to paint in and why. Oil painting is something that I still haven't really dove into, because it really makes me, what's the word I'm looking for? It's intimidating, that's it. It intimidates me because I like my paint to dry fast, and I like to paint fast. And I know oil paint is kind of messy, and I also really like to blend stuff, and so I'm afraid that I would like go to blend all my stuff, and then it would just turn into a big old blob, and it would be ruined. My fear. That's my fear. Okay. Also, I just thought about this. I am so glad I put this much black out, because I'm going to need it. Alright, now what I'm gonna do, let me darken this up a little. I'm gonna take what little bit of black I have and kind of go in here and just kind of darken up the area a little bit because I have a tree and it should be like shaded underneath. It wouldn't make sense if it was lighter than everything else. So I'm just gonna do that. Every time I squint, it's because I'm trying to read the chat. So. This is some pretty funky music. Okay. This also kind of helps me find all the little bushes that I painted earlier that you can't really see that well anymore. Cool. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to speed this up as much as possible so my episode isn't too long, because we're already getting close to the 30-minute mark. So, next, while I still have my skinnier brush and black paint, I'm going to create kind of like a little curb, I guess, because I don't want a sidewalk, but I do need a little curb of some kind. And you'll see why in a second. This is probably not going to be one of my more favorite paintings, to be honest. Just because it's kind of coming out the way I wanted it to in my head. But there is a lot of detail in here that I want, but I'm probably not going to get. But that's okay. I always tell myself I'll just make it up in the next painting that I do and just make sure that the next painting I do is amazing. I don't know. Okay. Whoa! Now I'm going to do the other side real fast. Just a little bit. Had to fix the little thing too. You know, I think I'm gonna use a different brush for a second. That one and I were not getting along. And what's cool is that this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because I'm about to draw some other stuff in here that you won't even be able to notice that part anyway. So, since I'm getting close to adding in my creepy element, I should warn people who've never watched me do this before. So part of the reason why ooh, don't you dare. I just almost made a boo-boo. That little brush hair would have ruined everything. Anyway. When I do this, one of the reasons why it's called 50 States Are Strange is because when I paint, I add like a creepy element in. And so most of the time, it's something, you know, creepy or kind of gory. So in this case, it's not really gory, but it's gonna be creepy. So I just thought I would warn you a little bit. And I just realized you guys have kind of a glare. So let me kind of tilt this down a little bit so you can see a little bit more detail. Got my little staircase in the back and the park. Now the gray that's right under the tree and stuff, I'm gonna fill that in like black in a second. But that's what we got going right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to paint a lamp, but I gotta bring my wire out to where my lamp is. Right. I'm really nervous. Alright, there's my little lamp. Dude. Now I gotta make it even-ish. It's nighttime, so it doesn't matter. Okay. That's what I'm telling myself. And I'm just gonna add a couple of these on this side. My mouth's open. I promise I'm not mouth breathing, but for some reason I do the same face that I make when I'm putting on mascara when I'm painting. I can't help it. I don't know why. I just have to. Okay. I don't want to make this too bright. I'm kind of just like lightly marking. I'm going to put a little window in the background that's going to be lit up. That's fun. Till I get that when I'm focused on my art, I actually forget to breathe. Same. Oh my gosh, especially like if I'm at work too. When I'm at work, I forget to eat, which like a lot of people do. But I used to realize when I would be like helping someone or when I'd be working with a patient, like I would just be so hyper focused that I would forget to like breathe. Or like people who would be like, oh, always remember to check and make sure you're not locking your knees and stuff. I never check if I'm locking my knees, and I'm pretty sure I lock my knees 24/7. One of these days I will probably just like pass out, but whatever, it's fine. So I have like, I'm gonna have this little manhole in the center here, but it will not just be like a black circle in the center of the street. It will be different, I promise. So I'm not gonna put as many lights on this side. I think I'm just gonna put one. Man, this music is like relaxing. Okay, now almost close to the edge. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna add a couple little lamps on this side. But I don't even think I'll have that one working. Maybe I'll just leave one of them off. I don't know yet. Interpretation. I don't know. Do you do healthcare? I do for the animal world. I am a certified veterinary assistant. But currently I mostly just do travel work. If someone needs me to fill in, I fill in. I like doing that because my health has gotten like a lot more haywire the last couple years. It's gotten gradually more chaotic and a little more unpredictable the last couple years, so I have stuck more to like the travel side of work so I can pick my own schedule and things like that. Makes it easier on me. Because I never know when I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. Alright, there are my... I feel like I need to put another lamp in right here, but I'm just not gonna. Ooh, okay, and then I gotta have a little storm sewer thingy going on right here. But again, you'll see why. Because what is about to happen is some creepy shit. Alright, now I need to get my yellow up, make some lights. That's awesome, and traveling is great. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It helps with burnout. That's the biggest thing. And with healthcare, human and animal, burnout is quick and it is intense. And a lot of people just work through the burnout until they literally are dead inside. So don't do that. Don't work until you're dead inside. One of the many life advice things, mark it down. Someone keep a list of Azazel's life advice. So what I'm doing is putting the brightest part of the yellow on here to make the light bulbs. And then what I'm going to do is get my brush kind of dry. Well, or I should say I'm going to scrape some of the paint off, not really get it dry. Then I'm going to very, very lightly dip it in my water and create kind of like a watercolor with the acrylic, and just kind of cast some light so it's like giving you this illusion down the wall on the bricks that it's lit up, right? Now, this is kind of excessive because you're not going to be able to tell from far away. You know, this is definitely something that you're only going to be able to tell from up close. But I feel like it just adds that much more detail to the overall look, I guess. Since this is closer, I'll make it a little bit more detail. There, like that. Oh, you didn't even know. There you go. Now you can kind of see all the details coming through. Okay, before I add the creepy elements in, let me go ahead and fix this back area with some black paint. so we don't have to look at it anymore. And then where are we at? 40 minutes? Cool. I think I might be able to be done within the next 10. My goal used to be keeping my episodes like within a 20-ish minute mark, but now that I've been doing it live, it's kind of hard because I'm doing it live and not pre-recording, so you have to see the whole process. I don't edit anything out at that point. So let me just go in. Now, usually I have the background color on, and then, you know, I would put the tree over the top. But I really didn't know how big I was going to make with the tree, so I kind of just had to play this one by ear. So here we are. And I really hope, because this is smaller, like what I'm about to paint is going to be pretty small, it's going to probably look like spaghetti noodles. I'm going to throw some arms coming out of these sewer drains because it's creepy and it kind of matches, you know, with the fact that we were talking about the tunnels and them being haunted from all the terrible things that went down there. So yeah, we're going to be having arms sticking out of the tunnels, trying to drag you down. And because of that, I'm afraid that the detailing is going to be so hard to do that they're going to look like spaghetti noodles instead of arms. But we're going to go for it. And I have the perfect skin tone color, and I'm going to open it for the first time. Oh, never mind. I have opened this one. Silly me. But I do like it. This color, light apricot, one of my favorite colors to work with because it's so diverse, and it's a pretty decent Caucasian-y skin tone. I'm so nervous about this. So I need to like look at my hand for a second, like reaching out. I guess I'll do like the main one right here. This is so hard. Holy crap. It is so small. That's what she said. Does it look like a hand? Oh, whoa. Oh my gosh, this is freaking hard. All right, one arm down. Like this one, like it's bent and trying to climb out of the storm sewer. Roar. So scary. These kind of look silly to me. Oh, hey, Cassie, what's up? Oh. Okay, that was kind of a thicker piece. Maybe I'll do 2 arms on this side. Like they're being drug in there. Like, help me. Jack, can you not? That sounds gross, dude. He's like grunting. Hey! Excuse me. Thank you. And then here comes my squeaky exercise ball. Jack, please stop licking yourself. You guys are getting a bath this weekend. My yard is full of these like little weed flower type things. Like they're the same color as dandelions, but they're not dandelions. And they're really good for the bees, so I leave them. But I let the dogs like run around outside and then they get all itchy. I can't hear much because I'm on a call, but I just wanted to come to your day. Thanks! Got my little creepy arms sticking up. Can you? Why? Why do you have to make the most noise possible? He chose to lean up against the closet to scratch himself. Okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing. All right. What was the other thing I was gonna do? Oh, I forgot to put my little lit window in the back. Oh my gosh, I was like squeezing this so hard but trying not to squirt it in my face. My one lit window in the back. Oh! Yes, I use my fingers a lot even though, like, you probably shouldn't. I just do because I'm a weirdo. Alright, there's my lit window in the back. Wow, that's really bright. I feel like I should make these brighter then. I might cheat a little bit and use a tiny bit of this color on the light bulbs to... That was a really big chunk. Make them even brighter. Huh. Bruh. Why is it so stringy? Okay. Will it make them brighter? Probably not. Sure. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Cool. Ha. Thank you for the roses. Okay. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a little bit more white up on my moon. Make it a little bit more moony. And I still have a little tiny bit of, oh, that peach color on my brush too. So it's gonna give it a little bit of a hue, like the actual moon. Like cheese. A cheesy moon. Okay. Makes me feel a little bit better. It looks crazy from far away. I'll mix it all in there. Okay. Last but not least, gotta sign it. Thank you. Well, thank you, miss. And look at that. 50 minutes. I'm keeping it under. Like I said I would. I'm just going to use the white that I pulled out, I think. And I'm going to sign it over here. This did not come out exactly like 100% like I wanted it to, but I had a feeling that when I got to the hand portion, it would start getting really difficult because of the detailing with how small. I scaled everything out to where I probably should have made it a little bit more of a close-up view, but that's fine. I am going to shut this light off and see if it... Now you can see it's still a little wet, so there might be a glare. I'll tilt it down. This is it. So you see we got the fog and the mountain in the back and the moon. It looks a little crazy right now because it's still super wet and drying, but it'll dry a little bit more clear. Then we're in the alley with all of our creepy hands sticking out of the tunnels and the light posts and all that jazz. That's our Oregon episode. We did it. I think you had amazing, and I love seeing your progress. Each one you do is even better. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for the next episode. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be doing it on Colorado while I'm in Colorado, and it'll be the first painting that I'm going to try using watercolors for you guys. Like I said earlier, I've been messing around with the watercolor, and I honestly like painting with it better than the acrylic, so I might start leaning more towards that stuff too. But yeah, so like I said, next Thursday I'm not going to be doing 50 States of Strange, but I might still get on here and just paint for fun with you guys and, you know, kind of get into my element before I start my next episode, which will be in Colorado. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I am still posting them on YouTube, so go ahead and check out this whole episode if you missed part of it, or check out some of the past ones if you haven't seen those yet. My YouTube is Azazel's Road Trip. And yeah, check me out here on TikTok, on Instagram, and YouTube. And I will see you guys soon. Have a great week. Bye.